into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the winter finale of Once Upon a Time. It's season 4, episode 12, Heroes and Villains. I am your hero, Tiona Hobson. Across the table is the villain, Marisa Serafini.
Because villains are cool, but we don't always win.
Yeah, but I mean, Marissa's not really a villain, guys. I like her a lot.
Thanks, T.
Thanks. I hope that you get your happy ending.
You're more so the villain, and I'm the hero. But
I mean, tomato, you know.
That is very true.
We are missing a couple of people from our panel. They're bad, not ours, because we were here, because this was an epic episode. I can't believe what we just saw.
I can't believe it's just us two talking about it. I think both of us are the heroes and they're the villains.
Yes, they're the villains for not being here.
We win because we're here.
Go us, we're rad. They suck.
We're awesome.
So let's get right into this, because I know Marisa is dying to talk about the Outlaw Queen whole debacle that we had to watch tonight.
Debacle, calamity, what do you call it?
Marisa literally teared up tonight during this whole Outlaw Queen thing. I'm not joking. I looked over and Marisa was crying during a commercial break.
I was physically disturbed and distraught. Little tears formed, and I still can't handle it because I was so emotionally rocked by that, how it all went down. We'll get into it, but oh my goodness! All right, let me know, Team Outlaw Queen, all you fans out there. I cannot handle this.
I mean, I'm an Outlaw Queen fan too. Like, I couldn't believe that they did this, but I mean, I think it sets up a lot for next season, so let's get into it. So we know that now that the Snow Queen has sort of died. I was gonna try and find a different way of putting it, but now that she's dead,
she's out.
Now that she's gone, Marion has defrosted, so Regina's there with Robin to put her heart back inside of her, and so she does that, and then Robin's just telling her, like, I'm in love with you, and this doesn't mean anything, and there's just so many moments tonight. And then Regina and Marion have that talk at Granny's house where Marion's like, look, I don't want to be second fiddle. I realize that for me it's only been like a couple of days that I've been gone, but for him it's been years and years, and his heart has moved on, and if he's gonna choose you.
But I love the fact that Marion wasn't angry about it, and she wasn't bitter towards Regina. I mean, we saw in the first few episodes of this season that you can see that jealousy and whatnot, but I loved how she came to terms and was okay with it, and even said, yes, Regina, he loves you, you love him, and I will step down. I will step out of the way for love, because he's going to follow his heart to his true love. If it's you, good on you. And I'm glad that she's taking the high road.
I am too.
And I do feel bad because, like, I love Regina and Robin together, but I do feel bad for Marion because someone has to get hurt in a love triangle, and someone always loses.
That's very true.
And it's unfortunate for Marion, but I'm glad she's doing it in the right way.
Yeah, because before she got frozen, all we saw was her anger, and, she still saw Regina as the evil queen, and, we're all over here like, no, she's changed, she's different, love her, embrace her. So I was glad that when she came out of her whole frozenness, that she was like, hey, you know what, you're actually not a horrible person. You've saved my life twice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, and I'm going to let my husband kind of choose, and I know he's going to choose you, and I will back down. That is.
And you know what? Marion had her time with him.
But I mean, in her defense, in her heart, her time with him isn't over.
That is very true. But she also had her time with him.
Yeah. So then we get to see what their future could look like. The three of them, the four of them, because Roland, Marion, Regina, and Robin are all playing by the lake or something like that, and Regina and Robin are sitting on the bench, and he's like, I'm choosing you. And she's like, well, our kids come first. You need to do what's best for Roland. And he's like, I don't care. I choose you. And then kerplump, Marion's down for the count again.
Again. She didn't, like, last long.
I was like, dang, girl, like, enough attention has been on you already. You're kind of...
Another moment she ruined of Team Outlaw Queen. Come on.
I know, just like kerplunk, and we learned that a little bit of the spell, the remnants of the spell are still there. At this point, it's affected her heart by now, too, because they put her heart back inside of her. So the only way to save her is to move her outside of the town lines, which we learned earlier in the episode. The Snow Queen had put a spell around the border that once you leave Storybrooke, you can never come back, because she wanted Storybrooke to be a ice castle for just her, Elsa, and Emma.
Yeah, the very, very selfish of her. But also, I question, because if she put up this curse and she's now supposedly dead, don't you think the curse would have gone with it, or the curse is still there? I mean, I just question, there's a lot of things still going on even though she's not there.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about that too, because I mean the curse on Marion has gone away now that she's gone, but why didn't this one, unless
also
she cast it with something stronger than what was used for Marion's curse? And
yeah, I think it's because we're always led to believe, the audience is always led to believe, like, once something like the powers and whatever has happened from a villain, once the villain is gone, everything else goes away too, or reverses or diminishes, and this is still there and she's gone. So I just question it. It's unfortunate that it's still up, because
yeah, I mean, because then we get to the part where Marisa cried. So
freaking out.
This was a very, very well done scene, because I think even if you are not Team Outlaw Queen, you had to have feels about what you witnessed on that screen tonight. We see Regina, first she's in the car with Rumple, and he's kind of like, hey, look, saying goodbye is hard, tells her that, he's taking Belle away, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that stuff later. But then he also says, I took my happy ending, and I wish that I want you to have your happy ending too.
Mm-hmm. I do gotta say, I was questioning why Gold was even there. It was like the most wrong time to talk to Regina, especially during all this going down. But I did like the message behind it, and that's what differentiates him from Regina, that Regina is the good person and did it out of love, and she's purposely trying to be good to win her happy ending. And then Rumple, manipulative, enforcing a good ending on him. So that's what makes Regina have more hope to have a better ending than Rumple did. And we'll get to Rumple.
Yeah.
But I just gotta say, Lana Parrilla looked gorgeous tonight throughout the whole episode. Her in blue, her in purple. She looks amazing in any color.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, she looked like a good person, and still all this is going down.
I mean, it's sad, because she gets out of the car, and and it hurts my heart to even say this, and there's, Marianne and Roland and Robin and all the merry men are standing nearby. They're all saying goodbye. And we see Marianne kind of still weak. And her and Roland go across the lines. She looks back.
Now she's normal.
Now she's normal. She loses that white streak, which I'm glad they put that reference into Frozen, because I think that was maybe like the one person who we didn't have. And we're going to take a quick little break. I think we have a caller on the line right now. Hello.
Caller, you're on the line with the Once Upon a Time after show.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes! Hello.
Who's this?
What's your name? Where are you calling
I'm
from?
so excited.
Is that an accent?
I don't know. I live in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the show. What did you think of tonight's episode? Are you as emotionally distraught as I am right now?
Don't know how I'm going to survive for 3 months, I can tell you that much.
We're feeling the same thing right now.
Totally agree.
So are you team Outlaw Queen?
I'm team Outlaw Queen. I'm team Swan Queen. I'm pretty much team Regina, Evil Queen, all around.
Evil Regal, I like it.
All right, I love it. I love it. Do you think that Regina and Robin will eventually get back together? Because they have to. There's no way that they can't stay apart.
I actually tweeted. I think they have to. I feel like the fact that she had to. I thought she was going to kill Marion personally. I thought she was going to take what Rumpel said seriously and just, I was hoping for it, kind of. Actually, really, really, really was hoping for it. But, I don't know. She should have just ripped the heart back out and just threw it on the floor, set it on fire or something.
Would Robin have still loved her if she had done that? Because he loves her because she's changed. She can't do that.
Well, I'm for both Regina and Evil Queen. So if she forced him to love her, I would be just as fine with that as well.
That's amazing.
I love this. I mean, as awesome as it would have been to see Regina do that, especially, in order to prevent them breaking up in the way that they did, it would have been great. But had Regina had done that, it would have completely destroyed everything she's worked for and become a good person to immediately just lose that.
Yeah, but she can just do whatever she wants to me. I just think she's perfect. She can just do whatever, however, whenever she wants.
That's amazing. So you're clearly just Team Regina overall. Did you have any final thoughts on this episode? What do you think is going to happen when we come back from the break?
Oh, man, I have no idea what's going to happen when we come back from the break. I thought that this was a great mid-season finale. After what the first half of the season had been so far, I was a little worried about the mid-season finale, but I think it ended up great. I was excited. I was surprised that they brought in the Queens of Darkness as early as they did. I thought that would be kind of a last-minute thing, but them going and discovering, the author's library and then Ursula being a janitor and all of that, I just thought it was just amazing, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Well, you and all of us together.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat for that one. Thank you so much for calling in, and I hope that, we will all survive this together. We have 3 months. We have Twitter and YouTube to all talk to each other, and we will get through this together.
Keep talking to us. What's your Twitter handle so everyone can follow you?
My Twitter handle is @TheRomanDemigod.
Oh,
nice name. That's cool.
I know that name. You tweeted us a lot too.
Yeah, I tweet you guys all the time. I get so nervous to call in. Well, the time difference is a little difficult to get used to, but I just had to call in because I love everybody.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And, we're starting a new thing, too, where we're live on YouTube right now, so you can go on there and you can live chat with us. Marissa's manning the lines for us this week.
You guys are awesome. I will definitely give you all shout-outs in a couple minutes.
Yeah, so thank you so much for calling in, and we will talk to you on the interwebs, and keep tweeting us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Great. Yes, we are live streaming on YouTube now. You should definitely check it out, and more great things to come. We have a lot of great comments already, and I agree, Maria J. If you're gonna look depressed, you might as well look good while you're at it. So Regina looked amazing.
Regina did look amazing.
I mean, and she was just so natural, just there, and so simple. Ugh.
And she looked hot, and let's talk about that kiss, because I will get so much crap if we do not talk about that kiss, because that kiss gave me my life.
And that's what I said. Yeah, you were right next to me. I was like, he can't cross the line without giving her a goodbye kiss. And then the minute Marion crossed and then looked back and no one was there and she couldn't see anything, I was like, yes, kiss her now. She can't see. So that was hot.
That was hot.
Boom. That was like, yes, this is the last time I'm going to see you.
For who knows how long, because I do not think that's the last we will see of Robin Hood at all.
No, it better not be.
It better not be, because
I'll be really mad.
Yeah, I'll be even more pissed about that. So
And then the whole like hands separating, crossing.
Like her hand kind of went over with his, and he was crying on the other side. And all I'm thinking is, Marion, you just said that you didn't want him if you were his second choice. And I get that, you know, sending Marion and Roland out into the world without magic in a place where they don't know anything is scary, but like we couldn't have found someone, like get one of those extra merrymen to go with them, or like go find one of the dwarfs who's not doing anything.
Get someone expendable. I mean, you could send Will Scarlet over there. He always finds ways to cross portals.
But I'm wondering,
realms.
like, I mean, this is a little predictions, and I kind of said this when we were talking. I'm wondering if with Robin gone, if this will finally make Will, who is a full-time series regular on the show, but we've seen him in like 3 scenes total. Maybe this will now catapult him up to like a bigger role within the city. I don't know. Maybe he'll like take charge of the Merrymen and do more. But I'm like, hey, we got Michael Sosha, which P.S. his birthday was yesterday. So happy belated birthday. Yeah. I don't know you personally, but I hope one day we meet.
Like we do.
Yeah, I feel like you're like my bestie. But you know, hopefully now he will have like a bigger role, because like, why see a series regular if he doesn't do anything?
Yeah. Other than run away.
I mean, nice paycheck, you know, but...
That's true. But
other than that,
Robin's gone. But I literally, as heartbreaking it was, I loved literally the last seconds when he's like, and I was just waiting for like, I love you, and like the whole like, I know.
Like, I know.
Star Wars. There were so many Star Wars references in tonight's episode.
And I actually caught one. I never catch those because I've never seen Star Wars.
You did.
So I was so proud of myself. Thanks, guys.
That was definitely Star Wars.
So now that Robin Hood is gone, we also have Elsa, Anna, and Kristoff who are trying to get home. Mm-hmm, they have defeated everything, and Elsa's brought down the ice ball, and that's when
which was really quick.
Yeah, really quick.
Like,
I mean, once you
finally got control of
once you get control of your powers, it's like, boom, I can do anything I want, and I'm putting my mind to. Her and Emma both, because Emma was like, wait a second, I feel like there's magic here, and she like
sense there's more magic around.
Goes up to the line and is like touching it, and like, oh yes, it's this spell. I'm like, oh, you can tell just by putting your ear to it now.
Wow.
Okay.
She really came into her magic quick.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because that took a long time. But yeah.
But it's like, whoa.
She's getting powerful.
She is getting powerful. So they're looking for a portal to get back, because I mean, like Elsa said, it's not like they could just walk back to Arendelle anyway. They are in a different realm, so I don't see how them leaving town was really gonna help.
Yeah, that was like, let's get another one, another portal. I love how like Anna's ignorance is just like, yeah, we can easily get them and like pull it out of your pocket. Here it is, magic beans. Magic beans. I love how they referenced that again. That was great. That was great.
So you know, while they're stuck looking for somewhere or a portal, Hook, which we're going to get into his thing with Gold. We're going to talk more in depth about it later, but we're going to skip all that detail and just go with, are like all over the place. So Hook comes back and is like, hey guys, I found the door in that lakeside mansion that we all were at the other night. Mm-hmm. And we know, as a backstory, that Rumple actually has found it. So, you know, while he is talking to Emma, you know, she senses that something's off, but still trusts him, and he's like, hey, Gold found this portal for them to go through, because we know Gold's trying to get rid of them. So then we get them to the house, and everyone's saying goodbye, and Elsa and Kristoff walk through, and then Anna's like, hey, guys, I wish I had met this Mr. Gold. He must have been a fairy godfather, like, in another life. And they're like, no, actually, he was Rumpelstiltskin. She's like, what? Why are we trusting him?
But why is she just asking this now? That took them a while. It was like, you're crossing a door you probably haven't seen in technically years, air quotes. And then you're literally trusting this guy who just said, hey, I found your door, let's go through it. I was like, you don't have any questions or any qualms about it before you cross it?
Yeah, I mean, she asked before she crossed. She just forgot to ask before everyone else did.
But I'm glad it went back to Arendelle, because I was really unsure about it. If Gold manipulated it in some way, because we know Gold's always trying to get rid of people. Who knows where he could have sent them?
Yeah, exactly. That part did scare me, but then the other part of me was thinking, well, we know he doesn't want Anna in town anymore, so he probably would do whatever it takes to get her back, and not just to, like, back to their realm, like back to Arendelle. Like, you know, he didn't land them in the forest or anything like that. Like,
Yeah, I'm glad.
he got them all the way back there. And then we get to see when they're back there, because we know that Hans has taken over, but they come back and they defeat Hans and his 12 brothers, and it's finally wedding day time. And I was nervous because we had Scott Michael Foster in here last week, and he was like, that wedding.
Look for the wedding.
He's like, it's not going to be what everyone thinks it is. There's a twist. And I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
But we didn't even really see a wedding. Just them walking down the aisle.
Down the aisle. Her and Elsa.
On the road, down the aisle.
Yeah, they're on their way there. So, I mean, it looks like so far everyone over in Arendelle is doing good. That does kind of wrap up the Frozen storyline for the first half of the season. So I'm not sure that we're going to see... Well, I mean, we know that we're not supposed to see anyone for Frozen anymore.
Again, which I'm really... I'm like, I like the story. I'm kind of upset that it's already over. But because I've already loved the characters before they even came into Storybrooke and the show once, and then not to see them gone. I wanted Elsa to stay.
I wanted Elsa to stay too.
Her and Emma could seriously be best friends. They're just so cool together. They can help each other with their magic and learn how to enhance it, and that's a relationship I didn't want to end.
Yeah, those two definitely have a relationship of like love and togetherness, and they felt more sisterly to me in a way. Like, it was instant, like, oh, a sisterhood has started here between those two. So as much as I was ready for the overall story of Frozen to kind of be wrapped up, I wanted Elsa to like stick around so Emma could have like a buddy her own age who's not her mom,
practice magic, who's not Regina, who might like have manipulative, darker sense in magic doing, and because it's just another pure person who has magic.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just upset. A lot of friendships and relationships ended today.
They did, but and then we have Henry, who found the library in the house. So Henry's like, hey guys, he's there to like get Anna and Elsa back over to Arendelle. He's like, I'm gonna go exploring in this place. And then somehow everyone left the house and left Henry there. Like, they forgot they came there with Henry, I guess.
Maybe he got stuck in that room.
I mean, well, I guess Anna did throw them for a loop where they had to hurry and go save Hook, that whole thing. But so they might have forgot that he was there. But he did some digging and found like a secret doorway, secret room, secret passageway that led to a library, which I was like, oh, that's Gold's old library.
It did look like the same set from the flashbacks that we'll talk about.
Yeah, it did, but it wasn't. It was a new library with a bunch of books that look just like Henry's that are all blank. So round of applause for Marisa, because she called that last week. She said, what if there are multiple storybooks out there?
There are more books out there. There had to be. Yeah, because there's so many more stories and characters out there that you can't fit all that in one book. It's not like the Book of Shadows from Charmed, where like it just magically grows with more stories. No, there has to be more books out there. And lo and behold,
there it was. Just like
an
Marisa
awesome
said.
Library, though.
That was, but all the books are empty, so.
But you can fill them with more stories.
So we know that they have found their first big lead in finding out who the author is, which is looking like the sorcerer, because Rumpel said earlier that the house belonged to a powerful sorcerer whose magic could work in multiple lands. So I'm assuming we're still back to that darn hat. But yeah, I mean, and then Emma, finds out about Operation Mongoose.
And now she's in on it.
So she did tell Regina she would do whatever it took to help her get her happy ending, because she thinks that Regina does deserve one. So
she does.
She does.
She really does, because we, the audience, have seen her every single episode choose the right things, do the right actions to be good. She has physically, mentally has changed her ways. And that is why I root for her, because I always root for the ones who have the most character growth. And then we can see a better potential future for her. So yes, I'm generally rooting for her.
I think I love how passionate Marisa gets about Regina.
I love Regina. She's amazing. She's my favorite character. So yes. And she lost her man tonight. Come on.
I mean, I don't even. I'm lost for words right now, Marisa. I'm sorry.
I know.
So we're gonna talk next about these flashbacks that we saw.
Okay.
So the flashbacks. This is where we're actually getting to meet the Queens of Darkness that have been teased all like episode and stuff. So we start off and it's Belle looking through Rumple's stuff, and she finds this gauntlet that actually just looks like a glove.
A glove. I wonder what, like, from what person that glove came from.
Yeah, because in that cover we saw a lot of things, and we tried to pause it to like figure out what. Yeah, we did pause it to try and figure out what things were.
There were a lot of cool things on that shelf, though.
Yeah, we saw like the knight's helmet thing,
a vase, and then like a dragon stone structure that looked like it was from Mulan.
Yeah.
And puppets. We saw the puppets in the background.
We saw the puppets
from Pinocchio. And they even mentioned Camelot, too.
Yeah, and they mentioned Camelot because Rumple had just gotten back from Camelot. Mm-hmm. And he said it was good for him, not for Camelot. So that sucks for them.
Yeah.
But this magic gauntlet that he brings back with him, it will locate someone's greatest weakness for you. It will lead you to their weakness so you can help defeat your enemies. Which, you know, sounds like a great thing, but when you're Rumpelstiltskin, why do you need that? You're the great and mighty, powerful one.
To use it to manipulate other people.
But I feel like he's just so...
Okay, so say he's up against his next biggest foe, his next biggest villain, and he uses that against his villain to find out their weakness, so he now knows their weakness to take them down.
Yeah, I just feel like when you're the dark one, you don't need that. Like, he
needs anything that can help him.
I could see him as Mr. Gold needing it. I just don't see the dark one needing it. But he also just likes to collect things, so I guess it makes sense.
But he also likes to use magical items for manipulation.
Yeah, that's true, too. So him and Belle get to talking, and, you know, at some point he, like, poofs her out to go do his laundry because she's just the help. We have to keep remembering this is before they're in love.
That is true.
So while she's out there, she sees a Dalmatian puppy, which was so cute.
Oh, it was adorable.
And I was like, oh, is that baby Pongo? I
was like, which dog is it?
Yeah, maybe it was.
It could be Perna.
Yeah, we don't know who it was because Belle gets abducted, and then Rumple comes looking for her, and there is a sand dollar on the ground that opens up into like a video message from Belle. That's the best way.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and that was the Star Wars reference that I actually got.
I love that. Like, you and I were so on the same page at that point, because I wrote in my notes Star Wars hologram, and then you're like, Star Wars
hologram. That was the word I was trying to think of, but I was like, it's a video message.
Very much in the same vein as Princess Leia. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And so in the message, Belle says that the people who took her want the gauntlet that he took from Camelot and to meet at Demon's Bluff at midnight with it, or else she will die. My biggest concern here, I mean, I know that we knew, of course, Rumple was going to go to her rescue because we know that in the future they're married and clearly she's still alive. But at the time, this was before Rumple was really saying that he had feelings for her or anything. So why did... Because we find out that it was Maleficent, Cruella, and Ursula who took her. Why did they think that taking his maid was going to get him to turn over what they wanted? If at this point she was still just his maid and he was still like, I don't care about you, Derry.
Yeah, but it also shows that maybe at this point in their relationship, he's starting to feel something for her. Obviously, nothing's like really established yet, but this could have been one of the first moments like, hey, Belle means something to me, so I'm going to do anything to save her life.
Like, there may be something there that wasn't there before.
Yes! Oh my god, that is Bobby, our friend.
That's just all I could hear in my head going on when you were talking about that was just like, oh, like the song in the movie. Like, there's something there now. Okay, I like where you're at, Marissa.
I love it.
So, then we have this big face-off between Maleficent comes out in her grandeur and is like, I want the gauntlet, and Rumple's like, well, I'm just gonna chokehold you and like take
Another
back
Star
my
Wars
make.
reference.
Yeah, it's just like, boom, I got you, girl. And she's
Easy.
like, oh, but I'm not alone. And then here comes the tentacles from Ursula around Belle's neck and around her chest, and she could just crush her at any moment. And then, Rumple's still like, well, I mean, I just gotta take care of you. Like, you kill Belle, I'll kill her. Like, square, and I'm still alive, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
and then here comes Cruella out from nowhere. And it's like, ooh, oh my God. It's like, oh my gosh, all these people. Cruella said one thing that I took could mean one of two things, because a lot of people have been wondering what she's not magical in any of the stories that we know of
She's
Cruella.
just naturally evil.
She's naturally evil
and conniving and amazing.
But tonight she said, when Rumple said one of his threats towards them, she goes, should I get a step stool so you can look in my eyes when you're threatening me? And I wasn't sure if one, that was a short joke because he's shorter than her, or two, maybe she's sort of like a Medusa type where like if you look into her eyes, like that's where her magic will be coming from. Like maybe they're making her magical and so you can't look directly into her eyes. I didn't know how to have felt about it.
You know what?
Did you just think it was a short joke?
I think it was a short joke. Only because I have met Victoria Smurfit in real life. And granted, I'm short, and she's very tall. She has a very tall stature. She's gorgeous. So I think that was just a short joke.
So what you're saying is I'm reading way too far into this?
Yes, but I do like where you're coming from.
Okay.
Because it would be nice, and it wouldn't be past once to, like, give her some magical being just for, like, a short amount of time so she could be cool in that way. Like, I can manipulate you,
because at the end of the day, if you're not really bringing anything to the table, why do Maleficent and Ursula want you there? They both have powers to like control things.
But the thing is, Cruella's a great evil plan hatcher. She can think of all the evil.
That is
She's
true.
the game maker in a way. Like she plans the evil things, and then Ursula and Maleficent can execute it.
Okay. I will give you that. I'm okay with that now.
Like, someone has to think of all these evil plans. It might as well be Cruella.
It might as well. But we find out that their plan is they want the gauntlet to use against the heroes to find their flaws because they're sick of being the villains who never get a win. They want a happy ending, or they want to end up on top. So it's the same fight that we know Regina is in current day trying to achieve as well. Well, it doesn't work out so well for these three at this time because they try recruiting Rumple over to their side, and he's like, I don't need your help, I just take what I want. And they're like, well, we made a deal, you can't go back on a deal. And he's like, I paid a ransom to get my maid back, I didn't make a deal with you guys.
Right.
And we don't see
and he still gets the gauntlet back.
Yeah, he gets the gauntlet back, and the three of them get poofed off.
Poof.
I don't know how else to explain it. Like transported off. Like he just kind of flicks them away, and we don't know where they went.
Apparently,
we know that eventually, at some point, Regina locked up Maleficent because we know that in season 1 she was underneath the library as a dragon.
Yeah. So where did they go now?
So where did they go from there, and how does this fit into the rest of the story? Well, when we're back in present day Storybrooke, we have Mr. Gold over here still finding out that, about the curse that's around the border, that Anna is still here, and Anna knows what Gold is trying to do. So he tells Hook, like, you need to keep an eye on her. We need to get her out of here because I can't have her messing up my plans. Remember, Gold still has Hook's heart, which I'm not happy with.
That is true, yeah. At this point.
So he tells Belle that he's going to take her to New York City for a real honeymoon, and she's all excited, and he's like, pack a bag, and that's when Henry comes over and is helping her, and is like, hey, you can't leave because I don't know if you noticed this or not, but there's a curse and you can't leave and ever come back. If you leave, you can never come back again. And she's like, oh, I didn't know about that, but it's Rumple. I'm sure he's figured something out. She's so happy and just like ignorantly happy.
And I think that's like love makes you blind in so many ways. But I'm glad, like, unfortunate how it went down. The Belle came around to realize everything.
Oh my gosh.
Took her a while, too.
Took her a while. But we have Gold kind of gloating to Hook. He's like, oh, he's waiting for the stars in the sky to align with the stars in the hat, and then that will create enough magical juju for him to break himself of the...
Cleave himself of the dagger.
Yes.
I'm surprised he didn't say that line tonight. He said it in, like, the last 6 lines consecutive episodes, and, like, okay.
Yeah.
I think we know what he's trying to do.
I think we get it now. So he realizes that that's what he needs to do. He sends Hook over to Emma and them to tell them about the door, and this was the first time we really saw him manipulate Hook in this way, because he actually did the thing where you talk into the heart and like the words come out of the person.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm very surprised that, well, Emma kind of picked it up. I'm like, where's her superpower of knowing when someone's lying or when someone's being manipulated? But it was that moment when Hook was literally just shaking, like violently shaking her hand, like to let her know that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that was the only cue to let Emma know that something was wrong. It wasn't her power of finding out that, oh, something is up with him.
Yeah, she even asked him at one point, she's like, what's wrong with you? You're acting weird. And he was like, nothing. Well, that was Gold saying nothing. But I read an article from like Colin O'Donoghue, who plays Hook, and they were asking him about this whole, like, why Hook still feels bad and feels things even though Gold has his heart, because what we've seen in the past is people do things when they're told to do it without questioning it, and we have Hook over here who's questioning a lot of things and being like, well, kind of fighting the urge to do the things that Gold is making him do right now. And I think that, like, deep down, that's just a sign that, like, he truly has changed. He's trying to make the right decision and the right choices. I think if he's questioning and fighting, and he's doing all that he can to fight back against what ultimately he has to do because Gold has his heart, I think that shows that he's changed.
Hook has, yes.
That Hook has, yeah.
I think he's changed more, obviously more so than Gold has.
Oh, yeah, definitely more than Gold has. I have to find that article again because it was just brilliant the way that Colin explained why it was like that. It's on zaptoit.com if anyone wants to look that up. And it was just amazing to hear his perspective and his take on why his character is making the choices that he is making currently.
So you're rooting for Hook because he has a character growth and he has changed. I'm rooting for Regina because she's had character growth and she's trying to change.
Yes. See? Villains can be heroes and deserve happy endings.
I think that's the hero mentality for villains.
Yes, it is. We're always looking for the good in you.
Yes. That's why we're heroes, T.
Yeah. Which, I mean, finally, Belle realizes that her villain ain't no hero. He will never be no hero, boo. Sorry. And so just in the nick of time, as like the stars are aligning, Hook's in the clock tower because that's where everything goes down, in that clock tower, and I'm freaking out.
That's a small space too. How can all that go down?
Yeah,
it's like tight quarters.
Tight quarters. I'm freaking out because Hook's over here. Gold has his heart and is like playing with it. Meanwhile, Emma and everyone are at the like mansion in the middle of the woods. I'm like, how are they gonna get back in time to save him?
Yeah, T, you were like, they're really far away from Hook right now. How are they gonna get back?
I mean,
and then like you were yelling at the screen. It's like, no, you can't crush his heart.
I mean, because he was toying with it at first, and you know what? This is one thing I will say.
With his heart.
Yeah, Gold was toying with Hook's heart for a while. And that's one thing that villains need to be better about. If you're going to be a villain, just upright and do the deed from the start. Because the longer you wait, the longer you're giving the heroes to come along and save the day. Not that I was rooting for Hook to get killed, but if Gold had just crushed his heart the first time, and then we realized that, you know, because Emma and Snow come in and are like, stop. And then he's like, why can't I crush your heart? And then here's Belle with the real dagger. Oh. Like, yo, B, I got you. She's like, oh, that's because I'm commanding you not to do it, homie. And, no, this is when Belle got, like, Belle's character to me has just been so, like, blah. And in this moment, I was like, that's my girl. Like, yes, I was so happy because she stops him from doing that. He's like, what, Belle? What? No. And then she's like, you know what? You should just take us to the to the county line now because we don't need no witnesses for what's coming next. And I was like, oh my God. Marisa stopped laughing at me because I was really excited for Belle in this moment.
This is hysterical. You should have just like, oh my goodness.
No,
your commentary is awesome.
I mean, this is how it happened. So then she's like on the board and she's like, I realize you will never change. All the signs that I've been seeing and fighting have been right, and you're never gonna change. You're horrible. And she's like backing him up slowly towards that line. And we'd heard Hook call him, a coward minutes ago, and then we see him.
Mm-hmm. I'm afraid.
I'm afraid.
About to cross the line. It's like, yeah, now you're afraid.
Yeah,
should have always been afraid.
You should have always been afraid, dude. But I was so proud of Belle because she put her feelings aside. She told him, I remember that gauntlet that you traded me for. I found it today. Meaning he had to have gone back and got it. And then she's like, and then when I used it to find your greatest weakness, it led me to the real dagger.
Yeah, and the greatest weakness wasn't her, just as a person out of love, like, your greatest love is your greatest weakness as well. But an actual, and the fact that, like, she picked up on that and be like, no, you've always chosen power over me and you always will. You'll never change. So I'm glad she came to that realization. But questions. Thank you everyone for commenting in the live commenting on YouTube. You guys are amazing. But if you were Belle, would you have done what she did to Rumple and make him cross the line?
I hope that I could have been as strong as Belle was in that moment to do what needed to be done. So
would you make him cross the line? Or would you have found an alternate way to strip him of his dagger?
I'm going to say I would make him cross the line, but ultimately, like, that's the love of her life that she's forcing to leave and never be allowed to come back. So if actually put in that situation, I'm not sure I could have been that strong. But I like to think that I am a strong, independent woman who don't need no man around to, like, tell me what to do, so that I would have been like, yo, it's time to go, bye. I wanted her to kick him across. Like, I wanted her to just do, like, a jump kick into his chest that made him, like, stumble back and through the line. Just like, oh.
Yeah, you and me both. We were like, just push him. Just shove him across the line. He deserves it.
But, I mean, that was another heartbreaking scene because to see Belle, like, in tears like that and just, staying strong and doing what's right. And I think a lot of times...
Woman power!
Go girl power. I think that a lot of times the weakness in the heroes here is that they are thinking, oh, well, let's just lock him away. Like, if Snow and David had been there, they would have been like, let's just lock him away somewhere where he can't get to anyone and hurt anyone. But they always escape from there. Something always goes wrong in that.
We didn't even see them. I mean, we saw them for like
a little bit.
A brief second in the mansion, in that house. Did they even talk? I don't think so.
Snow said something when her and Emma came through at the watchtower.
Yeah, and what was that?
I don't remember.
Exactly.
I'm hoping that the second half of the season there'll be more. Yeah, but hopefully second half they'll be more important because maybe the first half she just came off from having a baby over the summer.
Yeah, I get
so
that.
So it's like, okay, new parents, they just got married in real life too. So maybe coming for the second half, they're like, all right, we let you guys take it easy first half of the season. Now we're gonna put you to work.
But I think it's also because like the first 3 seasons is always about those two couples always trying to find each other because they break up or they get separated in some way and they always find their way back. And then like they're the only stable couple right now that's actually together. They have each other. They found each other. They love each other. Nothing's wrong. So therefore I don't want to say not interesting anymore. It's just like their story's done.
Yeah.
We've seen it already.
We've seen it. That's true. I just miss Mary Margaret and David. I love them.
I just miss their banter.
Yeah, I miss
we
their
didn't even get that.
Yeah, I miss their banter. I miss their love. I just want to see them around more often. But yeah, so Gold is gone. He's kaput, and I'm like, oh, so he got kicked out. At least when Robin Hood and Marion got kicked out, Regina gave them cash, gave them somewhere to like go. Like there's a diner down the road that way. Here's enough money to get started.
See, Regina's a good person.
Yeah,
she just generally cares.
Gold didn't even have his cane with him to be able to walk down the road. Well, he got nothing.
No, like literally nothing. He got his limp back. But I'm glad that their memories weren't stripped this time, because every time they leave, so something else also just happens, but their memories still retain who they are, even though they don't have magic, but they're still aware of everything that's going on and what just went down.
Yeah. So then we have flash forward 6 weeks later, Gold has...
Another time jump.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's only 6 weeks at least. But it's not like 5 years.
But still, there's so many time jumps. I'm trying to, like, piece the timeline together.
Yeah. Okay, so 6 weeks later, Gold has found his way to New York City. That's where he wanted to be.
Well, it can't be really far from Maine.
Yeah.
I mean, if Henry can go from Maine to Boston to find Emma, Gold can get to certainly New York. Imagine the magical land.
Yeah, the magical land. He clearly found some sort of money to get on the bus to get there, and then he tracks down through, like, we go to an aquarium, and he tracks down Ursula, who's working there as like a janitor or something, and she's been in this world, so now a lot of questions come up because he's like, hey, so you want to help me out because I found how we can get our happy endings. Let's just say I found an author who can help us out.
The author. It's like, she doesn't like him anyways.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Ursula's like, oh, look who's coming to us for help. Look who's changed his attitude and wants to be on our side now. And he's like, yeah, we have 2 more stops, and then we're going to go take it over. So he must have a plan.
So he's going to find Cruella and Maleficent. I wonder if they have regular, like, human people names out in New York.
Yeah, I was hoping that, we would have heard Ursula's name because I feel like...
What would their human counterpart be?
Ooh, Ursula could be... I was going to say Urkel, but that doesn't really make sense. Maybe, like, Raquel?
Raquel? Okay. I could see that. Cruella could be something with the C.
Casey?
Caroline, something, yeah. Let us know.
Yeah, what do you think their names are? And since we're talking towards predictions, let's get into our predictions. Because this pretty much sums up this episode.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
So, we know that they have to pick up 2 more people. One thing that a lot of people are asking about, though, we saw Maleficent die in season 1, but someone was saying that it's not
still there.
Yeah, it's like her body was killed, but not her spirit. So does that mean that she's going to be body jumping into someone else?
Probably.
Right now, but we know that Kristen Van
Strand,
is playing her, so that's going to be the same body. So how is this going to work? She also is probably still in Storybrooke, if anything.
Well, also, she was still playing Maleficent in flashbacks, too.
Yeah.
So, maybe for the future, in New York, it might be someone else. But as for the flashbacks, as of right now, could still be the same actress.
Okay. So
you always got to go back to the flashbacks.
So how do
save everybody?
The big question is, how is Gold going to get back into Storybrooke? Because that's where the author house is. So we're assuming that the author is...
Who owns the house? Okay, I think, because now Team Operation Mongoose is still going, and Regina's now in the picture, too. So she has her magic. That Regina and Emma are going to team up. Henry's eventually going to get his magic, and they're going to take down that curse. And then once the curse comes down, it'll be in perfect time, lines up with Gold coming back, crossing the town line back into Storybrooke with his 3 new besties.
Okay. I like that.
Who's the author? It'd be awesome if it was a woman.
It would be awesome if it was a woman.
The author. I mean, it's such an ambiguous name. It could be anybody.
Granny. Granny is the author. Boom, drop the mic.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome, right?
Woman power.
Woman power. And Granny's such a
badass.
Yes.
She can take anybody.
With her crossbow, like, she was like, boom, boom.
Don't mess with me.
Yeah, so I like Granny. Granny is the author. That's my prediction. And my other prediction is that a lot of people are saying that maybe Regina's going to go on to, like, the Queens of Darkness side because they all want the same thing. I'm going to say no to that.
Regina, even in tonight's episode, we've seen her come such a long way being good. And even, they gave her the option. Like, when Rumple was talking to her in the car, he's like, you can take it. You can be that evil person again and just take your man and have your happy ending. But no, she chose the high road and let him go with Marion, his love, quote unquote, not so much anymore, but she took the high road. She's still good. If she goes back to her evil ways, I mean, I'll still love her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'd be really upset for all that work to be just flushed down the drain.
Yeah, I don't want to see her go down that road, but I know that every day she is still tested with going either way. But I am hoping that with Henry and Emma on her team, that they can be the strongest, like when those three do get into town, because we know at some point they're going to come swooping into Storybrooke, that she does not go over there. Plus, I mean, her and Maleficent don't really like each other anyways right now, so
right.
probably doesn't want her on their side anyways.
And Regina is capable of good magic. Remember when she took down
the Wicked Witch?
The Wicked Witch. Totally forgot her name. When she took her down, that like she had good magic. She defeated her by good white magic. So it's in her. She's good.
There you have it, guys.
She's good.
Regina is good. Don't tell Marisa anything else.
No.
Thank you all so much for tuning into our show. This was a great winter finale. I cannot believe we have to wait 3 months until a new episode of Once Upon a Time is on air, March 1st. 8 o'clock. I will be sitting on my couch waiting for that.
Thank you everyone who's been commenting on iTunes and on YouTube. You all are amazing. I wish I can give every single one of you shout outs, but I'll give you an air hug instead.
Air hugs.
Because they're amazing.
Yes. And in the meantime, Marisa, where can people find you on social media so that they can keep talking about how awesome Regina is with you?
You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
And you can follow all of us here online at AfterBuzz TV. Please be sure to go on to iTunes, rate us, give us 5 stars, tell us that you love us, that we're pretty, that we're awesome, that Regina's a badass and Granny's the author.
Awesome. Yeah.
And make sure you also go onto YouTube and leave us comments there. We do read all of them. We write back to as many as we can. All the fan love and predictions is just amazing to see on there. And I am on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson. Please continue the conversation with us because we want to hear all of your thoughts. We want to know what you expect for the big season when it comes back in March.
And what world we're going to go into next.
What world will we see next? Thank you so much for tuning into our show, and we will see you guys on March 1st.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.